Hi.
Hi, Keanu. How you doing?
Roland.
It's good to see you too. This is our first Roll podcast, and
Really?
yeah, we've done a few podcasts in the past, but now we've actually put a name to it.
Right on.
And Keanu Reeves is our first guest on the Roll podcast.
Oh my gosh. Great
Yeah.
honor. Thank you.
Here at the home of racing, Daytona International Speedway. We're in the pits.
Yeah. It's been. I'm here with Arch Racing, and so to be here in Daytona, to kind of launch the program, to be a part of your Super Hooligan series, and when we were looking at it, we were like, oh yeah, we can go there. The rules let us go there, and just the series itself, and it's great to. You've done so much for racing, American racing.
Thank you.
On a lot of levels.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? And so, just what you're doing with Moto America, just giving people opportunities in different ways, different formats, You're a bit of a visionary, Mr. Sands.
I'll take that from you, man. That's Thank you. The Moto America guys have been really gracious as well, Chuck and Wayne, and they've been really easy to work with.
Yeah, I met them yesterday.
Yeah,
cool cats.
Yeah, did you meet Richard Varner yesterday?
I think so.
Tall guy, pretty big.
Yes.
Yeah. He's like big boss.
Yeah. But they all have racing in their history, in their bones, in their blood,
They all do this because they do love it.
Yeah.
Rich has carried American road racing on his back for quite some time,
Yeah.
We had the glory days, and which I guess was when I was road racing.
Right.
And we're trying to bring that back, and I think, Super Hooligan and Bagger Racing's been a big part of it, and having you guys here is a big part of it.
Well, that's kind, generous. When I was talking to them yesterday, I was like, yeah, Roland, what he's doing, and they were like, yep, it took us a second. What's this Bagger thing? And it took us a second to but we're on board and very excited. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm sure you felt that too. Like, guys, come, it's right there for you. It's just build it, and they'll show up. People want to race.
That's been my whole life.
Yeah.
It's been kind of that, which is good. You don't want things handed to you. You want to have to work for them a little bit.
Yeah.
I think you got some of that experience this weekend, without a doubt.
Yeah. It's one that I think about it sometimes. Like, you can sit in the passenger seat of a car, like in a taxi or something. Like, think the way. Like, oh yeah, But then when you actually drive it, not that I'm driving, but I'm part of. I'm in the passenger seat, but I'm also part of the car. You're like, oh, this is different. You know what I mean? I've been in paddocks, followed racing, but I've never been in it.
Yeah.
And so to be part of the idea of wanting to launch a racing program, I work with Gard Hollinger, who you know really well, and he's a visionary as well, and he saw it, and it took me, I kept saying, let's go racing like 7 years ago with Arch Motorcycle, and he's like, no, because he knew what it meant. Mm-hmm. The resources, the time, all of what practically was involved in it. And I was just like, but it looks fun. It'll be fun.
Yeah. Everyone wants to go racing,
Everyone
right?
wants to go racing.
Yeah.
And but we developed a new engine, and for Arch to make their own engine, and we were testing it. The company we were working with, Suter, out of Switzerland, it was finally ready to do a test ride. So we went to a track in Croatia. Can I swear on the roll?
You can.
Holy fuck! Rode this fucking motorcycle in Croatia, and I was like, this is something I've never felt before. We were trying to do performance cruisers, but this big V twin, and it was just like, what the fuck? And I think that that moment, I think, was, I haven't spoken to Gard about this, but I think his experience of riding the bike, that engine on a track, all of a sudden that dream somehow went, oh yeah, we can do this.
Yeah.
We can do this. And it would be worth all of the time, the effort, and to take it on. That being said, then the challenges happen, right? In terms of like, let's put this all together 8 weeks before the first race in Daytona for the Super Hooligans.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, when Gard called me and said that he wanted to do this, you know, I was like, man, I don't know if you know what you're getting yourself into. And he does, but,
yeah,
you know, for
just
sure.
being in the passenger, well, I mean, he grew up racing, but, you know.
Yeah. But fielding a bike that you've built with your own hands, and being responsible for every single piece of the machine,
Yeah.
is the responsibility level goes up astronomically because of that. It's not just you're responsible for the chassis, you know. He's responsible essentially for every piece of it, from the crank to the pistons to the cylinders to the swing arm and every bolt that goes on the bike, you know, internally, externally.
And then putting the team around that, and then trying to get resources, and trying to get sponsorship, and trying to all of that game
In that amount of time. Monumental.
Yeah, so, you know, we our bike broke down in practice. Our bike broke down on the out of pit lane and onto the track for Q1, and threw our rider off because leaked oil. So, but I think we didn't get any laps there. We didn't have any, and then in Q2 we got 2 laps. Oh, and then before that, in practice, his shifting peg snapped off.
His foot peg broke off.
His foot peg broke off, and then we spilled oil, and then I forget, there was another shutdown. So we did before Corey. Oh, and then we missed the race.
You had the clutch failure.
Yeah, we had the clutch main shaft failure.
Yeah. Was that just the king of letdowns? Was that the one that hit you the hardest?
Well, yeah, when they say we have to take the bike apart and change the engine. That's like...
Yeah.
But we missed, you know, so Corey had, what, maybe 5 laps?
He had maybe only one hot lap. Like one complete lap of the circuit.
Right, so,
yeah.
And he qualified.
Yeah, the 59,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, P11.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was a victory. I mean, you and I have been speaking over these days, and you've been a little, Yoda. You've been like the sage, kind of like, you know, last minute shit, you know, racing's like low and then highs, and you just gotta let it go. You just keep going.
Let it go, brother.
Just
let it go, brother.
Let it go. just keep going. And I'm like, yeah, but you gotta feel it. And, I mean, I was sharing with you, we were at pit lane in the box, and Corey's fiance is watching, you know, the telecast, the broadcast is on, and Corey just stops, and her face of just like, you know, because there was so much hope going into that race, you know, we've done, anyway, blah, blah, blah. You just feel,
I think that
point of being responsible for everything.
And I saw that moment yesterday when we spoke, and I saw you like get tears in your eyes, and like it actually made me feel emotional as well, because, you know, at that point you're so connected to this machine and this effort and to the human beings that you put out there to do the job that, I mean,
you don't want to let them down, man.
No. Anyway. No, it's real. It was real.
Anyway, you don't want to let them. But today we got P7.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good. There were like people ahead of us had a little more horsepower in Daytona, but we did. I think he had one of the best times in Sector 1 on the infield, so that's something.
He had the fastest sector time, I think, until like lap 4. Yeah.
which ain't bad.
That's incredible.
You know what I mean?
I saw it pop up. I was like, Corey, fastest sector time. There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, that's big progress.
Yeah, big progress.
Big progress.
And the team's learned a lot. We know what the next iteration. What's one of the expressions? You're never done. You're never finished. You just keep going. There's no arrival. There's no arrival. Like you can always keep working on the bike. You can always keep developing. You can always keep learning. It's like life. It's like life.
The suffering is over for now.
Is it though? Because I'm like seeing, I don't know anything, right? So I'm just trying to learn. I'm peeking over the data, Michael, like kind of like seeing what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm talking to Alessandro Grassani, who works at Suter. We've got the amazing, legendary Jeremy McWilliams with us. So I'm always asking him, and he breaks everything down. Well, and if he had had a couple of teeth out, he might have had some more. We got to find out if he was hitting the limiter on the SPAC straight and the straights to see really what kind of top speed we have going on here.
Well, I mean, you truly didn't get a chance to have the bike for Corey to ride the bike in anger yet,
Right.
And when you do that, then you find brand new things and brand new problems, or you fix things, or you finally get your suspension dialed, or all those settings start to matter. The gearing matters. His opportunity to actually get in the draft and see what the bike was capable of.
Right.
And there's a question there, because I looked at the top speeds, and you guys were a bit off at this point.
A bit. We were like, what is it, 171 versus?
Did you get?
We had a 161 as our top, and I think was it Jake or Corey?
The 171 or
did a 171.
Yeah. So maybe gearing to get you there, and being in the draft to get you there. No one's going 171 by themselves.
Yeah.
They got to be in the draft, and Corey was a bit off of the lead group, but how can you not be?
But he was ahead of the group that was behind
the
leader, the 6 guys that were on it, that had another advantage.
I thought it was an incredible amount of progress for you guys.
Yeah.
Over the weekend. Yeah.
Thanks. I'm really looking forward to Atlanta. We've got some changes going. We also have a new exhaust from the amazing Akropovich. So, engine designer's like, yes, maybe we play with the cam, we do some time with the exhaust. We're gonna learn some things there. We're gonna add a little fuel, put that in the rear. Maybe that'll help over the rear shock. We might get some help there. And I need like a little scoop maybe in the front, the oil cooler.
Yeah.
Maybe a little sleep. I was visiting with Travis Wyman, looking at the Saddleman bike, and I just saw this scoop underneath the number plate. I was like, "What's that?" And he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Is that legal?" It's like, it works. I don't know. Anyways, so.
Hey, if it's within the rules,
Yeah.
you got to be creative.
Yeah, I was wondering if we could take our number plate and maybe make it into DSI or DSR, just have it open up on the straight. So have the number plate go on it, and it just kind of scoops up a little bit.
Not a bad idea. You have electronics in your number plates?
Yeah, just have
a
thing, hit a button, and it just kind of opens up a little bit.
You get a little arrow off the side.
Yeah, a little arrow. Just kind of.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, you're on an air-cooled bike, so hey.
And the only one.
The only one. The only one in the top 7.
Wait, was there another one in the grid?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, you guys are on the only air-cooled bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it's the best finish that we've had from an air-cooled bike to date.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's progress as it sits right there, but.
Right.
I mean, what as you've seen the weekend progress this weekend, and as you move into Atlanta, you told me at the beginning of the weekend that you thought a top 10 finish would be a success.
Yeah.
So you accomplished that. As you move to Atlanta, then what would you like to accomplish as you move forward?
I haven't had a time to I've been trying to stay out of everyone's way with the debriefing and everything, so I don't quite know. Am I dancing around the question? So I would say personally, I'm excited to see the development of the next you know, the next motorcycle with some more time on it and some of what everyone's talking about doing. I'm not super familiar with the layout there. What are the straights like there? How much does the power or top speed impact the?
I mean,
the lap time?
Atlanta's got a pretty long back straightaway. You get in sixth gear for a bit, and there's
You
a
do.
kink, and yeah, there's a lot of elevation changes. It's a lot of turns. It's very twisty, very turny. Like,
So it's not fast stop. It's not Coda or something like. It's more flowy,
It's not
but
Coda.
a tight, flowy track, kind of.
it's got some S's like Coda has.
Okay.
You really need a bike that's going to change direction well.
Okay,
And you need a
great.
bike that's going to come off the
We
corner
can do
well.
that. We've got torque.
Yep.
We can do that.
Yep.
Okay.
I think you probably be in a better spot at Atlanta than potentially you would here, knowing how fast Corey went in the first sector today.
Yeah.
Like, that's impressive.
I mean, I want. We got to be realistic because there's so many teams that have more data experience and. I
Absolutely.
mean, we want to talk about resources, but everyone's got great riders.
Yeah.
And but I just want podiums for him. You know, I want him to be able to fight for podiums and positions on podiums. I feel like everything that he's done, because he's not just riding, you know, he's kind of overseeing the project. You know, he's very experienced with, you know, he's kind of like a self-made rider in a way. You know, he's had a long career, he's had a lot of success, but he also, you know, drives his socials, all of it, like, you know, like the jackets. You know, he was working with Alpine Stars, and like they were like doing that dance about, I want this, you can't have that, we want that, what about this? I'm sorry, I'm doing a bad Italian accent. That was Alpine Stars, who were amazing. I'm sorry. And he's like, but I want, anyway. And then Guard's like, no, yes, okay. But Corey's doing so much more than just, you know, getting on the bike, and it's been cool to have.
He's got his own spiritual thing going on, it seems like. He's, his temperament, especially really when he's facing some heavy situations. I mean, I saw the way he was acting, and I was just like, this guy really has his stuff together. It's impressive, you know? Because he could have been really angry.
He could have been really, he could have been really angry. Like, what the fuck? My fucking foot peg came off?
I mean, but before that, when they changed his qualifying session.
Oh yeah, right.
And then they ran out of time to really get him laps. I mean, you know.
Yeah, that was the thing.
And that wasn't very, the organizational aspect sometimes is difficult for Moto America, and they don't always get it right.
I wouldn't put it on that. They made a decision early on, and what their decision was put on the bulletin.
Yeah.
And they broke the class in the A and B section not based on time.
Yep.
And if you didn't make the fucking cut, then you're in group fucking B.
Yep.
And if you start in A, but now you're in B.
Yep.
Totally understandable.
It's understandable, it is.
You know what I mean? And there was another rider who had some issues as well, and they wanted to switch, and Moto America said no. And so, for me, I think that was on us. I don't think that's on that situation. I don't think was on Moto America. They said what it was. We weren't on it.
And they'd already not let James go out.
Yeah, and they'd already not, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, you know, we love you, Arch. Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
But you ain't getting nothing special.
No, that's absolutely true. Yeah, Moto America treats everybody the same, and they will always treat everybody the same.
I'm all good with that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm all good with that. But can we have a scoop? Can we just have like a little scoop to collect some air for some cooling?
I didn't see anything.
Maybe I should be talking to you, Roland. Can we have like? Anyway, but no, in that situation, man, I had no problem with what their decision was.
Yeah.
You know,
it's tough to run a race organization.
How cool are the people here at Daytona? You know, all the marshals and like safety. I met some fire cats and like they were like, and some of the marshals.
They're so excited about being here. The corner workers that are out there all day in the middle of the track. You know,
who got that tan like that? I've been doing this for 25 years. Tan.
Yeah.
Like that thing. They all love it.
They come in out the end of the day and they just give people high fives, and they're like their stoke levels through the roof.
Yeah.
And that's just always like, that's the way to end the day.
No, it's so good. Even during it was like, it was really cool. You know, and also maybe, you know, for me, I met this guy, Andreas. I don't remember the team. I think he was riding at KTM. I think the cutoff was, I don't know what the percentage was, but it was around 202.
112%.
112%.
Yeah.
And he was on a KTM, total privateer, almost like solo. And he didn't make the cut. But he was so stoked, jacked to be racing, to be here in Daytona, and to even participate, you know. And I had the chance to do a ride in the GR Cup, the Toyota GR Cup, and I was like last. You know, I was like new guy. I don't know. But it was really nice. Got some training. It was fun, sequential, cool car. But I didn't really know how much fun or what goes on. Like, I'll watch F1, like, okay, there's mid-pack racing, but just to do it, like even coming in last, your relationship with everybody you're working with, or just, you know, I got to pass a couple of people, I got passed, but the experience of that, like I could relate to how he was feeling a little bit more, having done something like that, you know what I mean, where you're not quite there, but you're still in it, and you're still trying and doing it.
Yeah.
And it was really cool for him to just be like, yeah, man, this is awesome. Good luck. I'll see ya. and like, yeah, man. It was just, you know, the kind of good vibes with all the racers is really cool, and to race.
It makes them feel pretty special to get out here and be able to race with a professional organization. You know, it kind of breaks my heart a little bit when guys do go home.
Yeah. But he was stoked. He was like,
yeah.
I get it. I tried.
Yeah.
This is what I got.
Yeah.
You know? And he was like, when he was talking about being on the straightaway at Daytona, and he's just like on the bank, and he's like, yeah. You know? I mean, there's so much good bread just in the experience.
100.
You know?
Yeah. Have you got a chance to walk the track at all?
No, I haven't stood on the thing, and I didn't have a chance to do any of that good stuff.
If you do get a moment, and I don't know if you'll be here long enough to just walk up the banking.
Just to see what that's all about.
Well, I should say, you can't walk up the banking, you have to crawl up it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was it like 47 degrees or something
Yeah,
like that?
it's pretty radical, but it's something special to stand out there and know that guys are going through there at 170 miles an hour, you know? Yeah.
What are the baggers doing now? Are they doing 190?
189?
189?
Yeah, pretty close.
The baggers have turned into NASCAR.
They are the NASCAR motorcycle racing,
like,
without a doubt.
Anyway.
Yeah, and we're like the beer league of motorcycle racing. So.
I don't know if you're beer league. I think, you know, it's cool. I think you're like, there are people who are taking it really serious. Everyone's taking it really serious, but there's beer league, and then what's the other one? So beer league and NASCAR, there's got to be something in between. I don't know what it is. But.
Whiskey league.
Okay, whiskey league.
Yeah, whiskey league. Okay. There we go. A little bit higher end, just a touch higher end. What's next for you? You know, what do you got going on?
I'm trying to have a career, so I'm, you know, doing some stuff. I did a comic book called Berserker, and then trying to do Berserker 2. And got an acting gig in March, so that's cool.
You're still doing that?
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I'm still doing it. I'm getting to work with a director I love, a guy named Ruben Östlund. His movies are amazing, so I'm really grateful to have an opportunity, a little role in that. And playing a band, so we've been writing and trying to, you know, go in the recording studio. And I'm really looking forward to Atlanta.
So am I. Thanks for coming and hanging with us for a minute. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Really appreciate you taking the time.
No, not at all. Thank you.
Yep. And we'll see you in Atlanta.
Let's roll.
Let's do it.